Hey guys, what the fuck is up? Well, I'll tell you what's up. I just lost almost all of my health. Let's just pretend that didn't happen and go to a later point in the game. Today, instead of doing the maps, because I've had problems with actually recording the maps, don't ask me, I'll get into it later, but I am just going to review the lights today. I'm going to be looking at the Sheridan and the Stingray. And this thing, the Sheridan, was definitely overpowered last alpha test. Now, my friends, no penetration all fucking day long. You know it. This thing has lost its AP rounds, and as you know, heat does not like sloped armor at all. It also does not like spaced armor, which means that you will go through tracks and do nothing all the time. Thankfully, Swingfire comes to the rescue and saves my poor ass, because Lord knows I couldn't do that. Now watch this. I donked the shot in third person, and I have 1 hit points. Yeah, I'm not about to throw the game here, but I am about to make a fool out of myself, and the people in TeamSpeak are laughing at me right now. Thankfully, third person mode comes in to save the day, and that's my experiences in that first match with the Sheridan. It's a good gun, but it has to be put in the right use. It has to be done in the right way, otherwise the gun, with its heat rounds, just does not perform the way you need it to. If I fired right now through that railing, I would have missed. It just would have gone through the railing, and it wouldn't have done anything. But I used a very risky third-person shot, and I was able to hit that. What is it, BMP? I could have killed that T-62. I feel like an idiot for doing that. Here's another one. Very risky shots I'm taking here, because I can very easily miss, and that's the thing that a balancing factor, I suppose you can say, with the Sheridan. Here's again, the accuracy is just not good. And this sort of helps to balance it out. Like, it doesn't get bigger on the move, of course, but you know, it's not, there's a minimum and maximum accuracy, I suppose you can say, which limits its effectiveness. Now then, for the rest of this game, I kind of performed like an idiot, but you know, I killed the scorpion, so whatever. I performed like an idiot because I'm still getting used to the game mechanics, and one of the peculiar mechanics about this game is that the detection on buildings is not quite there yet. This tank, when it gets into close range, and there's another example of why you don't fire through destructible objects, because I would have done enough damage to kill him later on, and that's going to cost me. But an example of, and me and this T-62 are both just derping it out here. Like, we have no idea what the fuck we're doing, but you know, you're not supposed to, you have to be careful with your heat rounds. You have to be very careful, in fact. You cannot afford to do stupid things with them. Like, actually, like where my aiming circle is pointing now, I can't actually fire. Like, I may very well have had a shot on that pattern, but due to the shoddy building detection, I just wasn't able to. I have to actually wait, and so does that T-62, because he's figured it out now. You have to wait for the enemy to come around the corner fully until you get an outline. See, there's no outline. You try to fire, miss. He's still getting used to it, I'm still getting used to it. And of course, heat rounds. Heat rounds. If that was a Sable round that this thing used to get, would have killed him. But the heat rounds are indeed a balancing factor. Lights are still overpowered. Don't get me wrong, and I'm going to be talking about how overpowered the Stingray is later in this video. But the Sheridan, nowhere near as overpowered as it used to be. Definitely in line with other tanks, especially when it does not get as good as a matchmaking as it used to. Now that was a bit of a mistake. I thought I could shoot him, but I moved just a little bit too far ahead, and that cost me quite a bit of health. So I decided, whatever, let me just go YOLO, let me just kill this guy, get rid of him. But this is low tier. What happens in low tier in World of Tanks? Look at that guy to the right of me, the T-62. He is not fucking paying attention to me at all. It's just the way that it is. The fires kind of fuck with my frame rate. I get one shot off, and then I die. Not a bad result. In fact, that was the single best result I have ever had in the Sheridan. Ah, yes. What else did I play? The Stingray. So I'm going to cut out the boring shit and just get right into the action. I am derping on this rock because I'm an idiot. And for what is actually quite a rare occurrence, this thing's accuracy begins to fail me. There it hits, but I'm going to miss again. And this thing does not normally miss, so this thing normally has actually quite overpowered accuracy, I would say. It is nothing like the Sheridan. The Sheridan's accuracy kind of fails it. But here, even when I'm not hitting them directly, I am still hitting the gun. I am still hitting where I'm aiming. And you can see how tiny that accuracy circle is. It is so fucking tiny. It is ridiculous. This tank will not bounce any shots. It doesn't have that much more health, but for tier 6, but it can pull off some insane DPM. Here, the BMP's low profile saves its ass, but you know, this thing has an absolutely ridiculous recoil. You can see it here, 5.31. If you use the reload mode, you can get it lower. But you didn't hear that from me. Here, I'm just on Port Storm, dominating the hill, because the hill is, in my opinion, the most important part. If I go west, I don't have shots on east. If I go east, I don't have shots on west. But if I go middle, I have shots on both. And here, I am just looking for shots. So a little bit about the Stingray. It is tier 6. You skip a tier when you go to it. Tier 4, the Sheridan, then you go to tier 6, the Stingray. And this thing, historically, is only used by Thailand. It is classified, actually, is it classified as a light tank? I don't know. But, you know, it's just designed to be a maneuver tank. You're supposed to run around with it. You're not supposed to go hold down with it, because the turret armor is shit. It has no armor, basically. Neither does the Leopard, of course. But, you know, you use it like the Leopard was used. You use it in maneuver warfare. And here, I am changing positions, but this thing actually doesn't really need to go into maneuver warfare, because its camo, I was about to talk about how its camo is so good, and then it gets spotted. It's not good enough to remain unspotted after you fire. I will say that much. But in this position, those MBTs are never going to spot me, even when I do fire. What's spotting me right now is either an AFE or another light, I'm not sure. But there I go. I supported that west flank, and this is why I like the hill on Port Storm. And maybe the hill is a little bit too powerful, if we're going to be completely honest here, because I can support the west and east flanks easily. West more so than east. If I'm coming on either side, and I go up to the hill, I can support the western flank. East flank is a bit of a different story. It's kind of hard to support it from the south. It's easier to support from the north. Definitely something that needs a little bit more work. Here's a swing fire. Fucking hate swing fire. He's probably the one who was spotting me beforehand. But even if that guy didn't kill him, I would have been able to kill him quite easily, because this thing has insane rate of fire. Now the game is not confirmed to be a win, but when you push, when you have this many numbers, you are going to win. No questions asked. So I'm going to crest this ridge, and I'm going to be able to do what is probably the most powerful feature of this tank, snapshots. Other tanks cannot do this because lights get a bonus, which cause, if you don't move the hull and you're just moving forward, the aiming circle stays just as accurate as it was before. There's a TD. A TD can easily DPM me because TDs also have insane DPM. So do some AFVs, so I have to be careful. Which is why I am not pushing forward and I am getting hit by artillery. If that TD was not there, I would push the hell forward and I would just absolutely destroy their team. But for now, I'm just sitting here and I'm biding my time while the rest of my team pushes forward. As you can see, I am platooned with 2 other people. I platoon all the time with my battalion Kingpin commanders. If you are interested in joining, hey, self-plugin. We do allow people to go in there, our TeamSpeak, and just chill and hang out and see whether or not they like it. Just pulled off a blind shot there. Pretty insane. Here I get revenge on the TD for hitting me. That thing is pretty powerful, the 300, but it doesn't have much pen, and it has almost no gun depression, really. Something that the Stingray does not suffer from in any way, shape, or form. Now, this match was something special. We had 7 members of our battalion in this match. What ended up happening was that we had 2 2-man platoons and a 3-man platoon running. And all 7 of us came into one match. And I was like, holy shit, I am recording this. And you can see, like, Cody's like, I have both hands out of my hatch. Like, we were all super stoked for this match. Unfortunately, somebody does abuse the reload bug in this match. Oh well. 7 of us, 1 match. Absolutely insane. This doesn't usually happen, although I am a fan of doing countdowns where we form 2 platoons and we try to go in at the same time. We hit the battle button at the same time and see if we can get in the same match, because I think those are really cool. We don't always do them though, of course. Here I'm in the Stingray, and like I said, the camo is not amazing. You can see the bar in the bottom left. The bar only fills up really well when I'm sitting still, but in this position, I am able to put up lots of firepower on that western flank. I prioritize the Scorpion because he can spot, but then I go back to the T-62 because he's a better threat. And you can see there's still some bullshit tracking shots. Even with Sable rounds, it happens. I hope they don't have those in open beta. We will see. But here I am supporting West Flank because I don't want to mess with East Flank, rather, because this thing does not have any armor, and if you get shot at by a bunch of them at the same time, over down at the actual port itself, you can die very fast. Even on this hill, even with the cover that it provides, take out the Scorpion, even with the cover that it provides, you can take it out really fast because of the potential crossfires. That is the main balancing factor for this hill, the potential for crossfires. So I noticed some of my battalion members down there, so I'm like, why don't I put a few shots into them, right? There's ground. The ground's gonna get chewed the hell to bits. There's a second shot. He's dead. Didn't stand a fucking chance. Nom nom nom. I'm a dick. Ground's one of the co-founders for the battalion. He was playing with us today. Here's someone else. I don't recognize him. I do try to keep a tabs on who's actually playing, but you can see that the accuracy of the gun. Whereas, if I was in an MBT, I would have to sit still and really just take my time aiming just to be certain. Here I can just keep pummeling shots into him. Although I do get a no pen. As you can see, I get shot in the side. That's why this hill is a little bit unsafe for Sheridan over there. But this thing does not have amazing pen. It just has good pen. And there is an argument to be made as that Sheridan gets taken out by my teammates that this thing should probably have less pen. If I had aimed just a little bit to the right there on that tank, I would have killed him. And then I have a face-off with Brian, and I feel really bad for what happens to him. Here that was a little bit, that wasn't a snapshot, but I know that there's another shot into him. Insane reload. I think I ammo rack him there. I could easily do that consistently, what he just did, where he pulled around the corner, only stopped for a second and fired. He cannot pull that off consistently. That's kind of the balance factor. Now watch this. That should not have gone through. Obsidian. I actually felt bad. You can see I'm in chat, and I talked to him in TeamSpeak, like, dude, that should not have gone through. Like, I felt really bad for making that shot. I thought all that was going to happen was I was going to track him, but it actually ended up penning him, because it was just a little bit of a tiny sliver of his hull there. Obsidian have acknowledged that there are some problems with the hulls and the armor. They weren't able to get them out completely because they haven't been able to put in all of our suggestions yet, but they are looking to do that in the future as the test progresses and they actually get to everything that we suggested. So that's pretty much it for today. My thoughts on lights. I'll simplify it for you guys. They need to be nerfed. Take away their universality, and we will all have a better time, because I feel pretty bad when I run the Stingray. That's it for today. Thank you all for watching.